Ooh, I heard what you had to say. Sometimes it's just hard to get started. You're staring at that blank piece of paper and then what? Well, what I did was create a PDF for you, free. It's down in the description below for you to download it. And it contains 11 layout ideas for you. And I'm gonna actually show you the 11 projects I created based off of each of these layout ideas. And I also have a second PDF, which will have the sketch layout, but also a sample of the card that I made in the top corner in case you need that visual connection. So you asked, I listened, and here we go. Now this can be printed on regular copy paper. It can be printed in color or black and white. It does not matter. I printed double-sided just to save paper. But you could also scale it down if you don't want to print it in such big paper. It's completely up to you. All right, so let's take a look at this one. This is my first one. It's just a couple rectangles and got a little border here. So here's what I did. And this is actually one of the cards that I created from the 2 prints that I made in my last video, the gel printing video where I made those 2 gorgeous tree prints. And I told you I turned them into 10 cards. Well, you're gonna see them all throughout this video today. I just cut mine down to, these are more of a square shape if you will. I was trying to keep some of the veins of the tree in here. And then I added a sentiment and I added a little bit of Harry Potter. This is some Harry Potter washer tape because if you know me, you know I love me some Harry Potter. You can make these circles, squares, stars, whatever. This is just a jump start. You do not have to stick to these designs perfectly. You can take as much creative liberty as you want. It is just meant to help you jumpstart, or you can completely do the layout that's right here. It's up to you. This is also from the 2 prints I made in the last video. So instead of circles, I did some hearts, popped them up with some foam dimensional tape, and I added a sentiment strip. And then I did spray the background. This is just regular black cardstock with some of this sparkle spray, just because I thought it needed something. But again, creative liberties, right? And I didn't add this dash line. This dash line can be a strip of paper. It can be washi tape. It can be a marker line, whatever. Sky's the limit, people. Sky's the limit. So here's a look at that one. So for this, I created this background. As you can see, there are no rectangles or squares. Well, there is a rectangle, a very long one. So what I did here is, obviously I cut that down. This is some washi tape. This is a circle, and this sentiment was in my magic mug. And I need to do a dedicated video on the magic mug. I get a lot of questions, but it's literally something that I created while I was doing a time-saving hack video. And I'll link to it below in the description for you if you want to reference that. But anyway, so I took the circle and the sentiment out of there, and then that's how this card came together. This is the card I created. This was a jump start. I really liked this L, this like scribble line. So this is some watercoloring that I did on my own. So I watercolored this, and this kind of created my L. And then I just put the sentiment right here. So a big creative liberty here on this card, but you can see kind of where the layout idea came from. We got circles, and all I did to create these circles was I used a foam blending tool like this. Oh look, this is actually the one I used, and I just boop made my dots. And then I've got my sentiment and ding ding ding. See? I totally eliminated this part because I wanted to focus on the sentiment, because the sentiment is so funny. Sometimes I don't know how you put up with me, and then I remember, oh yeah, I put up with you. Word. How many people can you send that to? Your spouse? Right? Your kids even? You know, I see I have a thing here. I like to have some of the cardstock, the base layer peeking through, because I like little pops of color. And then I did use a little marker here, so whatever. But you can see where I'm getting this. So I was even trying to give you ideas here. These strips could be washi tape, pattern paper, pen doodles. Really, there's a lot you can do with that. These stars can be sequins, embellishments, things like that. If you do follow me, you know I'm not really big on embellishments or bulk on my cards. I'm just too cheap for that, I'll be honest with you. So I'm a big fan of the flicking of the paint, because it's organic, it goes wherever you want it to go. So I did keep the heart for the diagonal line. This is a piece of black cardstock, and then I took a marker and added a pink line there. My sentiment is down in the corner, and then I just flicked on some paint. This is from the gel print video. Here's the background. Made a little oval, as you see here. I pretty much stuck, you know, with the exception of where you might put on sequins or something like that, I pretty much stuck to the layout here. Then I used a die cut for my sentiment. Now remember, you can also change the size or the shape of your card. You can do a square card. You can do a 5 by whatever, 6 card. They don't have to be A2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Really whatever you want to do. But for the circle, this is a Sharpie pen, and I just squiggled some circles. That's all I did. And that sparkle spray, and I just added, just so it had like a little, I don't know, a little texture to it. And then there's the sentiment. And then I did add a strip of washi tape, and this is the orange card base that I have peeking through. For this one, we've got a circle, a sentiment, and some kind of like, it almost looks like a paint stroke. So what I did here was I took a white pen and traced a circle. And then this is some Nuvo Glacier paste here. You could do white card and you can just simply brush on some paint. You can ink swink on, or if you don't know what swinking is, I do. It's a word I made up where I'm doing some ink swiping direct to paper. So I call it swinking because I'm swiping and inking together. You get it? Ha ha ha. But think embossing paste, paint, crayons, a marker you can squiggle on. It can be whatever you have. Different color cardstock. This is a paintbrush with some paint on it, and I went just like that. This is a black marker and sentiment. Easy. They don't have to be so complicated to make beautiful cards or beautiful layouts. You can simplify it and still make it fun. And you can also look around your room and use what you have. You don't have to run out and buy the best, latest, and greatest thing. You know, markers, pens, crayons, look in your kid's stash, look in your kitchen junk drawer. Does everybody have a junk drawer like me? Because I do. Got a big junk drawer. It's got too much junk in it, to be honest with you. So let me show you the rest of the cards I made from the gel plate video, the 2 prints. So I created this right here. This is simply, I cut down a strip, stuck it on some cardstock, and then added a sentiment. Cutting down a strip, adding a sentiment. And this, I wanted to keep, if you saw that video, it was this beautiful tree stencil, and I definitely wanted to keep some of the tree in there. So I did make sure to cut out a piece that shows the favorite parts of the tree that I had, and then just added a sentiment. This is also a little cutout. I just hand cut some paper, and then these lines are just from a white pen. These are all the cards that I created just from the 2 prints I made in the last video. You can go small, use small elements of your prints. You can use large elements from your prints. You can use them as kind of like to frame out a sentiment. You can use larger strips. Really, seriously, sky's the limit with those prints. I love it. Got 2 PDFs for you that really will help spark your creativity and just jumpstart that if you're just looking at a blank piece of cardstock or paper and go, now what? I hope I was able to help a problem that you had. I hope you had some fun with me, because remember, art shouldn't be so serious. It's fun. Always remember that when you sit down, okay? I want you to. Pinky swear? Cool. I'll see you next time. Oh, before I forget, got to show my crafter math. I got me a new trunk to put more stuff in. Good God help me. Got stuff everywhere. I'm reorganizing. My husband's building me a new desk out of an old door and tabletop we found. Got heater, garbage, envelopes, paper. All that stuff is thrown out there. I got a dog toy, garbage bag, dog, vitamin water. Good God, I need to clean up my craft room. You know what I'm saying?